Hello everyone, I'm Polly and today I'm bringing you the ultimate guide that you'll ever need to create an island that looks like it was made by a pro. Today I'm showing you different tips and tricks. I try to make everything as easy as possible. And if you've just restarted your island or if you were thinking of restarting your island, this is the perfect moment to watch this video because I'm going to show you some things today that you should do before creating a new island and some things that you will need to restart your island to get. So let's waste no more time and dive into this guide. Before you enter the new island, you should plan beforehand a few builds and maybe a theme, just so you know what type of map you should pick. When choosing a map, there are a few things to have in consideration: the placement of the resident services and the airport, the only buildings that you won't be able to move in the future, where the river mouths are facing, because you can move rivers around, but the river mouths will stay in that place. And less important, but also good to have in consideration, where the peninsula is located, the position of the rocks on the beach, and where Captain's Dock is. Something else to consider is the airport color. The airport can come in one of 4 colors: blue, green, orange, or yellow, and you can change the color. Depending on your theme, some colors may work better than others, so it's just a matter of chance and luck when it comes to having the right color in the right map. The last thing to consider in this stage of the game is the starter villagers. For some, these villagers aren't that important because they can't be replaced, but if you got the right villagers right away, it would be less work in the future, or depending on your own rules, in case you're doing some type of challenge, the starter villagers can have some impact. When you start your game in a new island, you will always have 2 villagers beside you, and these villagers will always be one jock and one sisterly or big sister, whatever you prefer to call it. Again, these villagers are replaceable, so if you don't like your starter villagers, don't sweat it too much. You will always have 4 maps to choose from when you're setting up your island, but if none of the maps shown meet your requirements, you can go back to the home menu, close the game and open it again, and go through the whole process again. It can take some time to find the perfect map. Some people look for their desired map for hours, if not days. So you can either be a perfectionist and not give up, or you can pick a map close enough to what you were hoping to find and make it work. I'm personally more the type of person that makes a map work with my plans, but I'm just letting you know that this process is harder than you may think. If you've visited some islands or if you've watched some tours here on YouTube, you've probably come along some islands that are completely finished, but not all the buildings are upgraded. If you're wondering if you need mods for that, the answer is no. Let's start with the most difficult building to keep from upgrading, but the one that has the biggest wow factor in my opinion, the resident services. If you want to keep the resident services in a tent, please don't skip any of the steps that I'm going to show you. You will need 2 switches for this process, a switch where you already have an island with terraforming unlocked and the Able Sisters in place. This island doesn't need to be finished or have 5 stars as long as it has these 2 things I mentioned. And a switch where you don't have an island yet. And you also need a user that is not linked to the first switch, and this is very important. Don't skip this step. I recommend that this new user has access to Nintendo Online subscription. Open the game in the first switch with the new user, just like you would if you were going to add a new user to your island. By the way, in case you didn't know, you can have up to 8 users on your island. Get everything set up normally and enter the island. Once you're inside the island, make sure you pay the first loan and ask Tom to upgrade your tent because you will need to have a house to move. earn some Nook miles, and buy at least the permits for the Island Designer app and the Custom Designs portal in case you don't want to have the Able Sisters on your new island. By the way, the Custom Designs portal will show up at the Nook stop after you access the portal at the Able Sisters. And you can buy other apps, permits, and upgrades at this point as well if you're not rushing the process. Once you have everything that you want and have time travel to make sure that you have a house instead of a tent, like time travel a day ahead to check this, close the game and open it again with the same user. And when you have the title screen in front of you, press the minus button on your left Joy-Con. Tom Nook will show up and show you different setting options, and you will tell him that you want to move. Once this message shows up, open the game with that user on your second switch. Instead of saying that this is your first time traveling, say you're moving and wait for the switch to find your user on the first switch. On your first switch, accept the transfer. Once this process is done, keep setting your island. Now you're on a brand new island and you don't need the 3 stars and KK slider on your island to unlock terraforming, and you also don't need the Able Sisters to have access to custom designs. If you have the DLC, you can play it normally and you'll still be able to buy stuff from the Nook stop in case you forgot something. If you want a specific map or starter villagers and need to reroll the maps, you'll have to do the same process all over again, so for this one, I recommend not being too picky on these things. Of course, that not upgrading the resident services comes with some limitations. You will only be able to have a maximum of 4 villagers on your island, the starter villagers and the first 2 villagers from the 3 plots that require you to give the crafted items. And if you want to keep the villagers in tents, you can only have the 2 starter villagers. You won't be able to have bridges or inclines on your island, and you won't be able to have the campsite or use amiibos, and won't have access to the area with the vents at Arv's Island. If you want to have the baby Nook's Cranny and not upgrade it, all you need to do is not play for over 30 days. You can time travel back and play in real life for more than 30 days, but in game time, you can exceed 30 days. And just to play safe, don't spend any bells or sell anything to Timmy and Tommy or the box outside, or it will upgrade. You don't need to worry about the placement of the Nook's Cranny because you can still move it around without upgrading it. And using the Nook Shopping app at the Nook stop won't interfere with the Nook's Cranny at all. Last but not least, leaving the museum as a tent only requires one thing from you. Don't donate to 15 specimens. Well, actually, it requires 2 things. You better plan where you want the tent to be because you won't be able to move it unless you upgrade it from a tent to a building. You can still access fossils and get the shovel and vaulting pole recipes without triggering the upgrade. Okay, you can save a DA without a bed, but you don't need to have a bed accessible to save a DA. Let me explain. If you want to decorate your house in a way where a bed doesn't really fit the theme, or you just don't want to decorate your house and block the access so no one sees that you didn't decorate it at all you're going to need is a pair of pipes and a bed. If you want to decorate your house, be sure to leave one of the rooms in the main floor empty and block the entrance with a wall, an object, whatever makes sense. Before you block it though, be sure to place at least a pipe so you can access it later. That room only needs a pipe and a bed, but you can decorate it if you feel like it. No one will see it though. Then place the other pipe in a hidden place on your island, like behind the cliffs at the back of the island for example, and make sure that visitors can't access the pipe. When you're ready to save the DA, just jump on the pipe and sleep. You can also try to hide a bed inside your house. Just make sure that you can access the bed. Rock gardens are super pretty and they are a little complex to make, but trust me, it's not that hard. I recommend you to do it once a big part of your island is done and you have a good amount of space already decorated, because you'll need to fill in every single square in your island where you don't want your rocks to spawn. Be sure to leave the square on your map where the rock garden will be located empty or barely decorated, with no bridges or inclines or waterfalls. And after picking a place for the rock garden, place a custom design or stone path, whatever you prefer, around the squares where the rocks will spawn. The easiest and fastest way to fill the blank spaces around the island is by placing a mannequin with a design made by you. It can just be a solid color. And then wait 6 days or time travel a day at a time to check if the rocks are spawning in the right place. If not, you may have left an empty square somewhere else on your island, so just look for it. Once the rock garden is in place, simply change the design in any way, like add a dot, change the color, whatever, and all the mannequins will disappear. There's no right way to lay down path on your island, but most paths look best if they look organic. Even if you're doing a straight path, be creative with it and add curves, play around with the path shape and add some decor around it. There's not much science when it comes to using bridges and inclines, but sometimes people get confused with the space needed for it. To place a bridge, you'll need 4 squares on each side of the river, and you'll need the river to be at least 3 squares wide and 5 squares max, and the bridges can either be vertical, horizontal, or diagonal. The space needed is always the same. Inclines are 2 by 4 squares and can be built on the ground level and second and third cliff tiers. Bridges and inclines can be demolished for a 10,000 bells fee. I'm not the best when it comes to terraforming, but I found that making the beginning of the waterfalls and rivers smaller and the rest wider gives a more natural look. For tiered waterfalls, I suggest you make the highest waterfall 1 square wide and add a square to the following waterfalls. The river that grows from the waterfalls should be as wide as the waterfall in the beginning and expand to a wider size. You can also add multiple waterfalls from the highest waterfall to create a pretty cliff. Also, when creating your cliffs, make sure to round the corners and make them asymmetrical to achieve a more natural look. Also, if you don't want a rough edge where the cliff is rounded and make the river rounded on that area as well, leave at least 2 squares in front of the cut part of the cliff and the regular part. And then you do the river in a straight line from the waterfall and connect it to the other side, making like a rough edge on the outside where the river is supposed to be, and then cut the part where in front of the rounded part of the cliff, and it will have a more natural shape. You will have to leave 1 square next to it. You can't cut the square next to the round edge, or it will break and you will end up with a rough edge. You can decorate the cliff and waterfalls with flowers, bushes, and whatever feels right and looks good. The trees have different growing stages, and you can use the different heights to create a dynamic view or appearance in your builds. Both hardwood, cedar, and bamboo trees have 4 stages: small young, medium young, large young, and tree. To stop your trees from growing when they're on the small, medium, and large young stages, simply plant a fruit tree in one of the 8 squares around the tree. If you place 2 trees that need to be stumped next to each other, you can simply use 1 fruit tree to stop the trees from growing. You need 8 free squares around the trees to plant them, and that also includes the proximity to a cliff or the end of a cliff. But there's a way to have your trees right at the edge of your cliffs. Your cliff will need to be 1 square bigger than what you want. Cut the corner completely and add water to the ground, first the ends and then round the center next to the cliff inside the corner that you cut before. Then plant the tree next to the cut corner and remove the excess cliff. Once that's done, remove the water and there you have it, a tree right at the edge of the cliff. You can use trees in many different ways, but a little suggestion that I have for people that are thinking of creating some fake buildings on their island is using trees to hide corners of the buildings. The build will look fuller, more alive, and will hide the little imperfections that can distract the visitors from how beautiful the building looks. Let's breed some hybrids, going from easiest to hardest. To breed different lily hybrids, all you need are the flowers from seeds. Plant red and yellow, red with white, and 2 reds. The first combo will breed orange lilies, the second will breed pink, and combining 2 reds will get you either pink or black lilies. Next up we have cosmos. Plant red and white and red and yellow cosmos from seeds. The first will get you pink cosmos and the second orange cosmos. Combine 2 orange cosmos and you'll get black cosmos. Just like what happens with cosmos, you'll need an hybrid to breed another hybrid's color. But first, plant red and white, 2 reds and a red and a yellow tulips from seeds. The first combination will result in a pink tulips, the 2 reds will breed a black tulip, and the last combo will breed orange tulips. Combine 2 orange tulips and you'll get purple tulips. To breed hyacinths, you'll need to plant a red and yellow, a red and a white, and 2 whites from seeds. Red and yellow will breed orange, red and white will breed pink hyacinths, and 2 whites result in 1 blue hyacinth. To breed purple hyacinths, you need to combine 2 oranges. For the next flower types, you'll need to breed them in a very organized way because you'll need to breed special flowers that look just like flowers from seeds. Starting with pansies, plant a red with a yellow and 2 whites. The first will get you orange pansies and the 2 whites will breed blue pansies. Combine the red pansy from seeds with a blue hybrid to get a special red. This red pansy is different from the red pansy planted with seeds. Duplicate the special red by planting it somewhere else and watering it. Once you have 2 special reds, they will breed a purple pansy. To breed mums, plant a red with a white, 2 whites and a red with a yellow to get a pink, purple and special yellow. Again, this yellow is different from the yellow mum from seeds. Duplicate the special yellow like I explained before, and from this you'll get either green mums or special purple mums that combined can also breed green mums. To breed windflowers, plant a red with an orange and 2 whites. The first will get you pink windflowers and the second blue windflowers. If you combine the blue windflowers with either red or pink, you'll get special reds or special pinks. Combining either 2 special reds or 2 special pinks or mixing 1 special red and 1 special pink will breed purple windflowers. Last but certainly not least, roses. Start by planting 2 reds, a red and a yellow, 2 whites and a red and a white. 2 reds will breed either pink or black roses. Red and yellow breed orange roses. 2 whites breed purples and red and white breed pink roses. If you combine the orange rose with a yellow, you'll also get black. Black roses, when watered with a golden watering can, will breed golden roses. To get the golden watering can, you'll need to achieve a 5-star ranking on your island. Now, to breed blue roses specifically, please pay attention to every step and do it exactly like I show in this video. This is the only method that I've tested and I know that it worked. First, You'll need to plant 2 whites from seeds. This will result in purple roses. Combine this purple with a yellow from seeds and you'll get special white roses. Using the same purples, combine them with the special whites and you'll get special purples. Breed the special purples with yellows from seeds. Only continue the process if this combination results in a yellow rose. Get rid of the yellow roses and duplicate the purple to get another special white. This special white is not the same as the previous special white or the white from seeds. Set that aside and breed black roses from 2 reds from seeds. Combine the black rose with the last special whites to get special reds. Combine these special reds with the same special whites to get special orange roses. Combine the special orange roses with the same white roses. You'll get another special red that is different from the other special red and the red from seeds. Duplicate the special reds and you'll get blue roses. If you need to check out the process for a specific flower, I have shorts with the process for each flower so you don't have to look for this guide. You can definitely use fences in a very basic and generic way, but I like to layer my fences to have a different look. Either mix different fences or colors of the same fence, put taller fences behind the short fences, or even use partitions and other items to create fences and walls, alone or in combination with fences to create something unique and fun. If you need more inspiration, you can check out my speed builds and see how I achieve different looking fences, and be sure to check out my new island when it comes out because there will be plenty of examples of different ways to create fences and walls. To finish off this guide, I just wanted to talk a little bit about treasure islands because with some of the methods shown in this guide, you may need to use them. I'm not going to show you a treasure island in this video because I've been having some issues with YouTube and I don't want to mess with Nintendo, but I still wanted to give you a few guidelines. To find these islands, you can either search on YouTube or Twitch. There are plenty of free treasure islands, so don't feel pressured to pay to have access to one. These free treasure islands usually have paid options, and if you're interested in those, you can ask for instructions. You need to have Nintendo Online to access these islands and use the dodo codes they provide. They usually have directories for maps, info on the islands, etc. Just look at the description of the live stream because it may depend from island to island. You need to have good internet connection to access these islands or they will crash, and please follow the rules they impose so everyone can have a good experience. Remember to always leave by the airport and never leave with a minus button because that will crash the island. Some treasure islands also give you the option to order specific items or villagers. Just follow the instructions they give you. I recommend you going early in the morning because that's when there's less traffic. And that's pretty much it. Treasure islands are safe and easy to use as long as you respect others and follow instructions. Don't feel pressured to use them, but they can really help achieving your goals for your islands. I hope you learned something today. I hope that my instructions were easy enough to follow along. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments, or if I didn't show how to do something in the game that you would like me to explain, please let me know as well and I will try to make a video or a shorts on it. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you need some more info on how to plan your island, I have a video showing how I usually plan my islands, and I hope that helps as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!